this is tea. I'm excited to hear this. I'm not going to go spread this around. I'm going to
I
tell
will
Nate.
though. I will. You can tell me. I will.
Hi, welcome back to Mother Knows Best Sometimes. I'm Charlie and I'm here with my mom, Patty.
Hello.
And I'm Mindy, and I'm here with my mom, Denise.
Hi.
And before we get started, we want to give a special shout out to my mom. It was her birthday on April 13th.
April 13th.
And so happy birthday if y'all
Happy
follow.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
If y'all follow us on Instagram, you would have seen the video we shared of her wearing her green wig. And no, it was not St. Patrick's Day. That was Nate's first question. When he saw that, he's like, was that St. Patrick's Day? I'm like, no, it was October. So, but I do have videos and pictures of her on St. Patrick's Day in a different green wig. That one was like a fro curly type of wig. This one, it was like a short, like straight.
Bob. Yeah, Bob.
Lots of different wigs in her closet. So
That's why I said don't be surprised if I wear one, but I haven't had time to pull one out and put it on.
I know, we haven't had the wig debut on the podcast yet.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't had chance to pull one out, but I will.
You
I will
name
pull one
yours
out.
like in Schitt's Creek? She names hers.
I haven't really watched Schitt's Creek. I've only watched 1 or 2 episodes.
Oh, it's fabulous.
It's so funny.
Do you,
so
I know.
you don't have your wigs don't have a name?
Charlie's always trying to get me to watch it. Eventually, when I retire, I'll watch all those things.
Oh, it's good.
She has names for all her wigs.
they're like, oh, like, you know, whatever, like Catherine doesn't like the blah, blah, like she like, they all have personalities.
Oh, that's funny. That's
Mhm.
funny.
So today we're talking about gossip and like, what is gossip? Like, how are we defining that? What are examples of gossip? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it neutral? So I feel like we should start with like, let's just say, what does the dictionary say gossip is?
So I looked it up. What do you have?
So I'm on Merriam-Webster and a few different things. So a gossip is a person who habitually reveals personal or sensational facts about others, or rumor or report of an intimate nature, chatty talk. And that's what gossip is on Merriam-Webster.
This one says casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true.
So I think that second one that you just said is more of what I think of as gossip. Like, I feel like in some ways the definition has shifted over time. And I've seen this whole thing about how like information sharing is mostly a thing that women do for like the history of the world. And so it was like demonized as like this gossip, like it's this bad thing. But it's actually just like that is literally how humans connect to each other through information sharing. That's how you can tell if someone is trustworthy. That's how, you know, you form bonds and relationships and whatever. And I mean, how information is hoarded, I guess, through like generations, like oral history, gossip. You know what I mean? So I feel like for the most part, I feel like gossip is, I don't know, I kind of use it interchangeably because like I say like I love gossip, like Mindy and I gossip, but we're usually not talking bad about people. Like we're just like, oh my gosh, guess what happened? Like, you know, whatever. But at the same time, I feel like if somebody is trying to talk, like you can tell they're like trying to talk bad about someone and share something that's like totally like uncalled for, like you should not be sharing that information. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gossiping. Like, I don't know. I feel like I use it interchangeably.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I want to, and I don't want to be involved in that, the latter of what you just said. But going back to women being the ones, it's because we had more time to do it because we are the original multitasker. We can, do a million things at once and still have time to to the neighbor, you know? I mean, that's how I look at it.
I think I also think of it in like I think of gossip in one hand in like the biblical sense of where it's like, you shouldn't gossip. But when I think of that type of gossip, I think of it kind of like Charlie was saying, like when people are, putting someone down or like sharing intimate details about someone that they have no business sharing, or you're trying to ruin someone's reputation or like
Right.
make people think badly about someone. But if I'm like, let's say someone does something wrong to me and I'm telling Charlie about what this person did to me, I don't think of that as the same type of like gossip because I'm sharing what happened to me. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? I don't think of
I
that
would
as
agree with
like
that.
gossip.
I would
If
agree
it's
with that.
something that like maybe it's not true or like, oh my gosh, I heard this about this person. But even with that, I feel like, and I've seen videos on this too of how like gossip is like a way of women protecting themselves of like if a girl is going on a date with a guy and there's like all these rumors about this guy being a horrible guy or being manipulative or being a predator, like those things, I would tell her.
Predator.
Well, I'm serious though.
Tell her he's a predator.
Yeah, I would tell the girl, and that probably is considered gossip, but it's also like, I don't want this girl to end up in a situation that she's going to get harmed.
I
Right.
don't think
So
that's gossip. I wouldn't think that's gossip. Now, if you didn't want her to go out with him because you liked him and you tried to do that, I would say that's
Sabotage.
gossip.
Yeah.
But just
That's-
trying to protect her, I think in my opinion, you'd be wrong for not telling her.
Yeah. And I
See,
feel
you know
like
what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like that's where there's this line of like, what is gossip? And I think it's a lot to do with the intentions behind why you're saying what you're saying.
I
I
think
think-
so too, because what would we talk about? I mean, if we can't talk about what's going on in our lives, what can we talk about? If Charlie told me, did I speak out of turn?
No, I'm just thinking if we can't talk about other people, what are we going to talk about?
Well, let me just give you an example. Mindy was getting ready to take the bar. Charlie's telling me, oh, Mindy's taking the bar on such and such a day. So every once in a while I'd say, wait, when is Mindy taking the bar? And then Mindy took the bar and Charlie told me Mindy passed the bar and I was all excited Mindy passed the bar. Well, is that gossip because Charlie's telling me your business? No, Charlie's telling me because she knew I'd be so excited about that and so happy for you. But would somebody consider that to be gossip? You know, but then what if Mindy didn't pass the bar and y'all weren't friends and you said, well, Mindy took the bar and she didn't pass. Ha ha ha. Well, then that would, then that would be gossip because to me, that's harmful to Mindy. But if we didn't, if you didn't tell me things that, I mean, don't we find ourselves in that all the time? Oh, Charlie got married. Oh, Charlie this or Mindy that, Denise this, Patty that.
But I think
know.
there's also a difference on who you're talking to, like the relationship of the two people that are partaking in the tea. Like those that matters, right? Because like Mindy and I will tell each other everything. Like mom, I'll tell you everything. So when I was on the phone with Mindy and Mindy told me so and so got divorced, I called you immediately and we got on the call because I wanted to tell you. It wasn't like I was wishing harm on these people. Nobody was wishing anything bad for these people.
I don't know. Miss Patty said, are you sure he's not just dead?
I can't even remember the conversation.
I want to know who got divorced.
It was, you don't know them, Mom.
Okay.
But it was funny because I said it casually because it's public information. Like it's not a secret. But I said it casually and it shocked Charlie. And Miss Patty also knows them. So then Charlie said, like, did you know? And it became a whole conversation.
And she was like, no, there's no way they're divorced. And Mindy's like, yes, they are. And my mom was like, are you sure she's not just dead? And we're like, would that make it? And she's like, no, that's not how I meant it. But in her mind, it was almost like she couldn't believe they had gotten divorced. Like
Someone must have died.
But it wasn't like we were calling to be like, oh my gosh, like we knew they would get divorced. And like we were just like, this is information about people we knew. And we're sharing the information. And so again, that would be different if I
have trouble with that line. It's like, if you can't say that, not in a harmful way,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff is just information. It's when
Yeah.
you're tearing someone down or belittling them.
Yeah.
That's when it turns it off. You just repeating stuff. Dang well it ain't true. You're just letting it go on, and you're just spreading what
Yeah.
can't be true, or you don't know if it's true.
I don't have anything else to talk about, so let me tell you this.
Yeah.
That's different.
But where the relationship stuff comes in is because, like, let's say me and Mindy, for example, somebody has done something wrong to her, right? And then a few months later, we find out something happened to them, right? Let's just say I don't know. I'm not gonna, everything I'm thinking of is true, so I'm not gonna say it. But let's say something like negative happens to them, and it's like this, Mindy heard from so and so who heard from so and so that they're going through this thing. But they literally did something really, really, really bad to Mindy. Well, Mindy comes and tells me, like, oh my gosh, can you believe this person's going through this? Like, I have the tea. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's my mom's texting me and saying, who?
I don't know who we were talking about. Who got divorced?
Oh.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. Okay. That totally slipped me. It's like, what are we talking about? I was thinking somebody y'all's age.
So anyway, if Mindy comes to me and is like, let me tell you about this horrible thing that this person, like, is happening to this person, based on the consequences of that person's actions, right? Like, this is happening to them because of how horrible they are. This is tea. I'm excited to hear this. I'm not going to go spread this around. I'm going to tell
I will
Nate.
though. I will. You can tell me. I will. Especially if they deserved it.
Yeah, but like, that's where the relationship comes in, because if it's just some random person that's an acquaintance and you're like, oh, telling them, now you're spreading gossip, because now that person's probably going to go tell someone else, like, you don't know. Whereas, like, if Mindy tells me, I know I'm not going to go tell a bunch of people, like, I'm telling Nate probably and my mom, and then they're not telling anybody. And then if I tell Mindy, like, she's not going to go tell people, like, so, but if I just go and tell, like, an acquaintance, like, oh, this really bad thing happened to this person. Well, that is because it's like, I know now that this person, like, they may go tell someone else, and then that's how, it's like the game of telephone, and then by the time it gets to end, it's not even how it started. So I feel like it's it's like the intention, it's the relationship, and it's the context, because again, it does matter if, like, if it is something negative that would harm that person's reputation, but you're telling it to, like, a close, trusted friend, and that person had it coming. Like, it's not like.
Well, I know too, you shouldn't party in someone's pain. So,
Yeah.
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 I don't say anything about anything. And I think that's why I don't remember things, because I don't repeat them. But like, my sister will call and ask me, well, what did, your daddy say about such and such? I'm like, well, I never even told him. She's like, you never even told him. What do you mean? So she expects me to tell him the things she tells me, and I don't. And then she wants to know his opinion. So then I got to go tell him whatever it is. But
Are you
I
talking about me?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
So that didn't sound like a genuine.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
sister, my sister,
to ask your father?
your daddy. I'm talking to
Oh.
you about your daddy.
Oh, I was like so confused.
Because I didn't want to say Chuck, because so many people know him as Charles anyway. So
No, you'll do that too. I'll be like, oh my gosh, did you tell? Like, even it'll be like really good things. I'll be like, did you tell dad? And you're like, oh no, I did. I'm like, she's like,
I
that's
don't, I
tell.
don't
That's
say
not my business.
anything.
Like, all
I
right.
don't say anything. I know. And sometimes I feel really bad. I'm like, Charlie's going to think that her daddy and I don't get along because I don't tell him all these things, but we talk about so many other things that I don't repeat things. And I think that's why I don't remember, like the thing I just said, who,
You're
because
the
I just,
receiver of tea. You don't necessarily make the tea.
yeah.
You sip
Yeah.
it.
And I don't know why that is, but I
That's a
just
good
don't.
quality. That's good. My sister's
I
like,
just- I
don't
just
repeat
don't.
nothing. She
Oh my
makes her very boring.
And if I do repeat it, I always call. I feel very boring. And I think I just realized
joking
that may
about
be
the boring
why.
I'm joking.
What?
I was joking about the boring
No,
part.
but I really feel that way sometimes. And I think that may be why I feel that way. It's because I never say,
Yeah.
and if I do, I call Charlie, I said
You
such
feel
and
bad.
such to so-and-so. And
Yeah.
usually you're like,
It's
oh yeah,
there.
that's no big deal.
But I will say that I can't pick, because I was about to say one of the best feelings in the world, but honestly, I can't really pick. They're both so good. because there's the feeling of when like Mindy texts me, is like, oh my God, I have some tea. And I'm like, spill it. But then that's a really good feeling because it's like she's literally about to give me some tea. But when I have the tea and I'm the one, like, I have the tea and she's like, tell me, I'm like, they're both so good. I can't pick which one I like more, you know, like I like a balance.
It's good. Y'all
That's
still
funny.
got it. Yeah, I don't. Nothing exciting happens.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we're always having exciting
Yeah,
things to
but
share.
y'all maybe y'all still active and young and have a life. You know, it's like I just work with. You know, yeah, no.
There are literally moments where I'll be in a conversation and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell Charlie this. Like
Aw.
immediate. When someone says something, I'm like, mental note, tell Charlie.
I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go tell Mindy right this second. Sometimes it'll be like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm like, Mindy, I gotta tell you this. But
I get
again,
those
I'm
text
in
messages from you every once in a while too.
we're not doing that in a group message though. We're not doing that out in the community where we're spreading.
Right.
It's very personal only, you know, it's, you know, that. And so that's different than like spreading it. Cause I know people who will say anything to anyone. And it's like, okay, yeah, don't tell that person because they're, you know, but I am very, like, if somebody's like, this is a secret, I'm like, okay, like, it's a secret. Like, I'm very good at like keeping a secret, you know, well, you know, other than Mindy and my mom and Nate, but other than that, have y'all seen those videos where it's like, yeah, I won't, it's like a trend. It's like, I'm not going to tell anyone or whatever. And then like, they like throw the key or whatever. And behind them is like their best friend or like their mom.
They catch
Oh,
the key.
No, that sounds cute.
Yeah, they catch the.
And I feel like sometimes like the tea that I share with Charlie is like my own investigations. Like I'll notice something on social media and I'll notice like, hey, this girl hasn't posted with her husband in a while. And then I'll like go down this rabbit hole and I'm like, she's not wearing her ring anymore. And I just tell Charlie all my evidence. I'm like, and I started with like, I don't know if this is true, but here's my evidence. She hasn't posted with a ring in how many months? She hasn't posted with the guy. They had their child's birthday and they're standing very far apart from each, like I just give her all my evidence and I'm like, so here's my hypothesis. I don't know if it's true.
So does it turn out true?
We're still debating on this
Oh.
one. I just found this out a couple days ago.
Oh,
The current one's definitely true. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, but it's true. But Mindy and I actually have a like spreadsheet document where we have all of the people in our graduating class that are are either married or in a long-term relationship with a child. And we keep track of like who's still together, who's divorced, who we are suspecting maybe is separated. And that thing gets updated a bit.
I actually have an update. I got a text the other day for someone that knows that we have this spreadsheet, and she was like, you can update your spreadsheet. So and so called off her engagement. And I was like, oh, I have an
Ooh.
update.
To who is she? Oh, is he like a drug addict?
I don't know. I don't think so. See, that would be gossip. I don't think he is.
Okay, well. Anyway.
But yeah, so we have a spreadsheet where we keep track of factual information.
But
And why
sometimes
is that needed though?
well, there's a lot going on, and we got you can't keep up if you don't
It's
have
too
the
hard to
spreadsheet.
keep track of.
It's too much because it's like breakup, back together, divorce, on to the next. Like it's like, okay, whose child is this? I can't remember. So we have to have, you know.
And there was a point where we would see people and I was like, wait, I thought she was married, or like, wait, I thought she was engaged, but then I didn't know if I made that up or if it had actually happened. And then we were like, let's make a sheet so we always know. Like
They'll delete everything. So then you're like, I can't, you know, remember. I will say sometimes though, like there was this one time that I feel like we're usually right when we like suspect someone has broken up or like something, you know, because half the time people they want you to know. You know, that's what my thing is. I'm actually doing my part because they are only posting this stuff because they want somebody to notice. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And if we notice, we're, you know, being good citizens. So, but one time I was wrong and I was so convinced, and then I convinced Mindy
was
in our
convinced too.
heads. We were like, this literally happened. Like, but then it was not true. And it was basically based off of, and it was it was far-fetched, honestly, you know, looking back on it. It was just like an Instagram story. And it was just like something this person had said and the song they were playing. And it was like a sunset photo or something. And from that, based on another post, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I was like, oh my gosh, this couple broke up. And that's all I had. It was very far-fetched. And I told Mindy and Nate. And both of them were like, at this point, we're convinced. Like they had to have broken up. They didn't break up. That would and I remember even thinking, this is probably the most far-fetched I've done in terms of like, investigation, because it was like so out there to make a conclusion. Yeah, but it was wrong. But I did not, there's more to it, but I did not
Spread it to
spread that
the world.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was
I
only
just
me and Nate that were like, oh,
So it was a
wasn't true.
hypothesis, just like, yes, okay.
yes.
You kept it amongst a tight crew.
And your hypothesis is either proven true or it's proven false.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
it was incorrect. Yeah.
Good,
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
But there's no better feeling than like when your hypothesis is proven true. Not necessarily that a couple gets divorced, but like when you just have these little pieces and you figure it out before they like make the official announcement and you're like, oh, I knew it. I saw that coming.
We're our own Nancy Drew.
Enjoy those times, because now the only time I sporadically text Michelle is did you know so-and-so died? It's because I'll
Oh,
see him on the
gosh.
obituaries. Our second grade teacher, Miss Apula, and I don't have a good memory, but when you're young, some things stick. I remember my second grade teacher, Miss Zapula, because it was such a weird name too, started with a Z. And she was in the obituaries with a picture. And I remembered her I'm 57 years old and I remembered this teacher. And I texted Michelle instantly, do you remember Miss Apula? Do you know she died? But yeah, so that's about the only sporadically, and I don't look at obituaries often because I don't get the paper. But I happened to be scrolling one day sitting at work doing nothing, and yeah, Miss Apula had died.
Now that's not gossip. That's
No,
just
yeah, that's not
information.
gossip.
Now, if you said, "Did you know she died?" and she said yes, be like, "Well, I feel like her husband might have done it."
Oh, yeah.
Then we're getting into gossip territory, depending on what your evidence is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean. Enjoy these little teas and
I don't remember when tea became the
Yeah, 'cause
term for it.
I
Like
know.
spilling tea. It's within the last couple years, I would
yeah,
say.
because I never heard of it before till you two did it.
Spilling tea,
Yeah.
sipping tea.
Yeah, sipping that Kermit the Frog. I feel like there's that
That
meme
meme started it, yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
drinking the tea, and it's like I love some good tea.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I never heard of that before, yeah.
But even like I feel like that's how like folk tale, like folklore and stuff, that's all just like oral stories like passed down,
Yeah,
like myths and legends. Like that's gossip.
Yeah. And I thought we did a show on gossip already. So
No,
we
we
did.
no, we've gossiped, but we have not talked about.
Okay. I thought we had.
We
okay.
haven't? I thought we did too.
Yeah, I thought we did. Maybe
That's
we voted something else then.
We did one on clicks.
Clicks. Maybe it was clicks.
Clicks is the other one that we did kind of like, what is it really? Is it good? Is it bad? But it was
Okay.
clicks. It wasn't gossip.
Okay.
But yeah, history, just gossip, like I feel like it's just straight gossip.
That's true.
I mean,
I think if history class was in a more like gossip setting, like you're never gonna believe what the
yeah.
Americans did to the British. Like I feel like it'd be so much more interesting.
And it'd be more memorable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of
You'll
this-
never believe what George Washington did behind closed doors.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's why Hamilton, the play and like
Yes.
the Disney movie of the play is so good because it's like I feel like it is more of this like tea and it might not be, fully realistic, but it's like more memorable and more enjoyable to watch because it's like, oh, no way. Like
Yeah.
they did that.
No, there's tea at the Athenaeum, this old library that I go to. It's like from the 1800s, started in the 1800s. They have this like bust of Alexander Hamilton, and there's literally a plaque where like 30 years after he had shot and killed him, Aaron Burr came here, stood in front of it and of the bust of Hamilton. It was like, what a man, what a remarkable man. And like that is tea. You telling me his murderer came in here and said, what a remarkable man? Sir, you shot him. Like,
Yeah.
So anyway, like it's
That's
just all tea. Yeah. So, and I feel like it can be beneficial too, because I feel like sometimes when you're telling stories about like, oh, this happened to so and so, you're also passing on helpful information, right? Like even on this podcast, like, we'll sometimes pass on information. It's like, oh, I like that. I'm going to try that. Or like, whatever, like whether it's like
Don't
home
eat the cherry
remedy.
pits.
Yeah, don't eat the cherry pits or like a home remedy or, something. I feel like a lot of times those pieces are passed on in the stories, and then that's how
Yeah.
like maybe traditions start, or trends. Maybe that's how trends start. Like, so I feel like there's helpful aspects,
And
you
that's what
know.
I'm saying. Not everything can, like this definition was casual or unconstrained conversations or reports about other people. That it just can't just be, because most of our conversations are casual. Mindy passed the bar. Charlie's going to graduate school, whatever. Those are casual conversations, but it's not gossip.
Maybe
There's a Facebook group that I'm in that I feel like is very borderline, whether it's gossip or whether it's helpful. But I personally think it's more on the helpful side. But it's a Facebook group and it's called Are We Dating the Same Guy? New Orleans. And it's every, like, only girls can be a part of it. You have to answer all these questions to be able to join and stuff. And girls, especially because dating apps are so like big right now, whenever a girl matches with a guy on a dating app and starts talking to him, she'll shot his picture, put it in the group, and ask like any red flags, any tea. And girls just like comment and say, like, sometimes it's a good thing and it's like, oh, we went on a date, just didn't click, but he was great. Or like a girl say, like, oh, he's one of my best friends, he's a great guy. But then there's a lot of things that are just like horrible experiences with these men and like the things they've done and basically gossip, but it's also like, oh, they're warning these girls before they go on a date with this guy.
or that's my boyfriend.
Or they're like, that's my boyfriend.
That's
So
good.
it's
Until
like,
about 5 minutes ago, that was my boyfriend.
so that's one that's it is definitely gossip, but I feel like it's gossip with good intention.
Yes, that is good.
The benefits outweigh,
I
the
don't know that that's necessarily gossip, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it
I
is.
mean, every now
Like,
and then you're gonna get someone who probably said something that's not true, or they're a little dramatic. But I think at the end of the day, it's more helpful than it is probably hurtful, because overall, it's probably most of this is probably true, and it's probably preventing some girls from going out and dating a dangerous person, or dating somebody who's already dating somebody else, or whatever. So,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know that I would, I mean, I see your point, Mindy, but I don't know that I would necessarily consider that to be gossip.
but I wonder if there's another word for it, like gossip for just sharing information, sharing stories, whatever. But when it's like you're saying a lie, or you're exaggerating something that happened to make
slander.
someone look bad, slander. That's
Slander.
I was gonna say, can we just say slander? There's
Yeah.
gossip, there's slander, and then there's
Defamation.
yeah.
Well,
Tea
gossip's not necessarily a good thing, so I think it should be called gossip, but I just don't think everything is gossip. You know?
But I feel like people think of gossip as like really bad, and like, oh my gosh, it's like wrong to gossip. But it's like, no, it's wrong to slander.
Yes.
I feel like gossip has a negative connotation, whereas like sharing tea is like, oh, lighthearted and fun, and like, oh yeah, we're spilling tea. But it's like, oh, we're gossiping. It sounds like a mean girl.
Yeah.
Okay, well, slander. Is it slander if nothing's done about it? Is it still slander? Or is it only slander if you go to court over it?
It still can technically, you can like, slander is the action. Slander isn't the part of going to court. Like you can
So-
sue someone for slander or
But
defamation.
you can slander somebody and it's not, it's just slander. I thought it was slander if someone was hurt and took you to court over it.
Mm-mm. They don't have.
Okay.
I think you can only like legally say that a court has ruled this as slander, right?
Oh, well,
But you can use it as like it means like negatively.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
But is that where you have to knowingly, like you have to know that it's a lie, what you're saying, or is that libel?
I don't think you have
either-
to know. I think you have a responsibility, huh?
You have to
if you-
know or willfully disregard the truth. Like you either know it's not true or you just don't care at all and you're just saying wild, crazy things.
That's what I'm saying. You have a responsibility to know that something that you're saying is true if you're saying it in public, right? You just can't go and say, Charlie's
Well, I think you can if you can argue that it's reasonable.
And if you can argue that it's your opinion, if it's something that it's your opinion, it's free speech. Like you're entitled to your opinion, but you can't say like something that's not my opinion if I'm like saying someone like this person has fathered 5 children by 5 different women. Like that's not my opinion because that's like factual information that can be proven or disproven.
Yeah. So slander could be used. I feel like that's a better for like that definition that we were talking about, like spreading rumors that, probably aren't true or whatever, versus like gossip. I feel like it's more of a neutral term. Like it should be.
I don't know. I think gossip is gossip. I'm just trying to say, I don't think everything is gossip. I think gossip is still gossip, but not every single thing
Put that on a
like people think are gossip. Hmm?
gossip is gossip, but not everything is gossip.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a tote bag.
Not everything is gossip. I like that. That would be a good
We'll add it to the merch.
merch.
And what about when you relive? I love reliving gossip. Like, let's rehash. You know what I mean? Like, Mindy comes up, we're going to rehash. We're going to get in a circle and we're going to talk about the thing that happened 10 years ago and talk about, because it's good. I feel like it's healing.
And I don't feel like that's gossip at all because it's like we were both there. It happened to us. Like we were there. We were part of it. We're just rehashing the stories of what happened. We're rehashing the history.
Except for if we weren't, because half the time Nate was not there. But if you tell Nate something, he will remember every detail more than you. And so you'll be telling the story that you were there for, and he'll be like, no, it didn't happen like this. This is how it happened. You're like, oh, yeah, you're right.
That is true. That is true. There's multiple times where I've asked Charlie, like, can you ask Nate, like, do you remember what I said about this or what this person said to me? And Nate will be like, yeah, they said blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
and he'll be like,
he'll
give weird details. He'll be like, yeah, so she said this, she was facing north and looking down. Like, one eye was twitching. He loves tea. Nate loves gossip and tea.
And he remembers everything. Like, I'll be friends with someone and Nate will tell Charlie, like, Mindy's still friends with them after they blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, I forgot they did that.
He's like, I did not.
Nate doesn't forget anything. Oh, goodness. Does Nate have friends?
Yes, he does. I don't think he spills tea with his friends.
Well, I wouldn't think dudes do.
But
No,
some friends,
guys love the tea too.
They like to receive it.
They
but I
don't like
think-
to admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nate will admit it, and I think he has some friends that he can spill some tea with. Like celebrity tea, like he loves celebrity tea, that. But a lot of them they don't talk about. Yeah.
That's another big topic is like celebrity gossip and celebrity tea, which I feel like that's an even lesser level because it's obviously if we know it, it's public information. Like it's not like I know any celebrity personally that I'm getting their private details. But like talking about celebrity drama and stuff. And I had this one guy in law school, we were like in a group and we were talking about the Kardashians specifically because I don't remember what was going on at the time, but there's always something going on with the Kardashians. And this one guy was like, oh, what are y'all talking about? And then I said like Travis Barker, Kourtney Kardashian, whatever. He was like, oh, I can't partake in that level of discussion or something like that. And I was like, ew.
Yeah.
Come on, get over yourself.
Listen, celebrity gossip is one of my favorite things ever. And I will say one of the best times of my life, like one of the best, short-lived, but one of the best times of my life is when the Don't Worry Darling tea was going on for that movie. That was the height of celebrity gossip, in my opinion. I have not had any type of experience since then. I was like living on a high. That was the best celebrity gossip. Do y'all know about that movie and all that stuff?
I watched the movie. I saw the movie. Don't Worry, Darling.
And
Is it the one with the Directions guy, One Direction boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry Styles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, what was the tea on it?
There was so much tea around that movie.
There was so much tea, and they were just, it was like they were.
Wasn't it supposed to be Shia LaBeouf or something first? Or
there was that. Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be in it, and that's not even the tea though. But Olivia Wilde was the director, and she's also in it. And apparently, it's not confirmed, but like she like left her husband for Harry Styles, and they were having this affair that they like didn't confirm, but like we saw her at his shows. Sometimes we saw them together, but they would never make like a public appearance together. And then the maid from her, like her former maid or something, came out and said like she was making this salad dressing to bring over her homemade salad dressing to Harry Styles, and like her husband Jason Sudeikis like got on late in the driveway, like so she wouldn't leave. And then at the premiere, like Harry Styles goes to like sit down, and it literally looks like he spits on Chris Pine. And the whole internet was going absolutely insane. Like, did he spit on him? Was it an accident? Like it was just everything about that was it's the height of celebrity gossip. I have never experienced something like that before.
And there was
And
even
what
more.
happened?
There was the
Did it end
whole,
up being a great movie? Like
I don't even remember it, and I saw it. So
It's
but I
no.
mean, as far as money, did it bring in a lot of money?
I don't think it
I
did.
don't think so either. I think it
It's-
was
it's an
the hype
okay
around
movie.
it.
But they
Yeah.
was probably hoping that hype would bring in the money.
Like Florence, the main girl, and it was like not showing up to any like publicity events for the movie. Like she was acting like she was not a part of it anymore. Like there was just so much drama around it. And I don't care that everyone has denied that Harry spit. Like Harry and Chris have both denied, like, no, he didn't spit on me. I swear he did. That video, there's no other explanation.
Why would he
There-
do that?
Well, that was
Well-
part of the drama. The cast had like broken into almost like two sides. Like there was the side
Yeah,
of
but
like
you can't just spit on somebody in public.
And plus, they can do everything online. They can alter,
I'm gonna have to pull up this video.
It is so hard because Chris Pine even looks down. Like Mindy and I
Yeah,
were
he like looks down and he's like, I gotta find the video.
Yeah.
But that video, you will never convince me that
he didn't.
he didn't spit on
Yeah, it
him.
does look like only from Chris
Yeah.
Pine's reaction do I
Well,
think
from
he
both.
spit.
It's from like Harry's like it's everything combined. The way that Harry's
Mhm.
mouth looks,
Yeah.
the way that Chris Pine's like clapping, looks down and just freezes.
and he
then
makes
it's
that
kind of like
face
yeah, it's kind of like this.
and then he starts
Okay.
the laughing is almost like an unbelievable type of laugh, like I cannot like kind of that. So
Mhm.
I don't know, and I just and I feel like Chris Pine maybe is like a very composed, like he's not gonna start a fight in the middle of things.
Plus, Chris Pine's older, and I think he could take him. So I don't.
Probably so. But yeah, that was the height of tea because there was already lots of tea going on. Like the salad, people were like, "Give us a salad dressing recipe." We needed to know what got Jason Sudeikis like on the driveway ground, like laying out. Like, I mean, like just
That was
so
part of the
much.
drama too, because like a lot of the like then the cast started saying that they were uncomfortable because like Olivia and Harry were being very coupley on the set, but then the husband would still come visit and then they wouldn't be. So like the cast felt like they were part of this affair. It was a whole thing surrounding this movie. And then the movie came out and everyone was like, for this?
Yeah.
For this
Wasn't-
movie?
That's what I mean. I can't even remember seeing it, but I know I saw it.
Yeah.
hmm
So I love celebrity tea, celebrity drama. It's so good. Like the Kardashians, I don't care if half of that stuff is made up on their show. I love it. I eat it up. Like it's so good to like I just love it. Like I love celebrity tea. It's just when Kate Middleton, which have we seen her? What's going on with that, by the way? Have we seen her?
They say that that video is AI, the one that is supposedly her. That's the new thing right now is whether Kate Middleton is alive or dead.
Yeah, she's just probably
Which
wants
one?
privacy right
Which
now.
video?
The one where she's sitting on the bench talking about her cancer diagnosis.
Oh, really? They say
I don't
that's
know if
AI.
that's AI.
I don't feel like it is either. I've just seen a lot of like people examining certain things in the background and then certain things on her face and like there's one part of her hand where like a finger disappears and reappears.
Does it really?
Yeah.
But even if it is, it's because they want their privacy right now because she's sick. You know what I mean? So I think that that's just leave her be.
I wouldn't put it past them to like cover it up where she's like not actually alive anymore or something.
No.
That's more just like I have no idea what's going on, but it's entertaining to read the theories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think going into tea and gossip, I think that's why so many people love Taylor Swift. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons to love Taylor Swift, but she gives the tea in her songs
Oh
so
my gosh, does she?
so much, and like you find out everything. Like,
But
and
she does it in a very classy way. Like she's never like just spelling it out. Like she does make us work for it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
She does.
But it'll be little things where it's like this whole song, and then she mentions like blue dress on a boat, and then every fan knows like, oh my god, this is about Harry Styles because she wore the blue dress on the boat, and then you find out this whole song is about him, and you're listening now like, oh my god, he did all these things, and so it's like she's spilling the tea through her
I
song.
mean, that's how everyone knew like All Too Well and a lot of those songs from the Red Area about Jake Gyllenhaal because of the red scarf.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she never has come out and said this is about this person or like it's just the little like hints that she gives, and then we're like, okay, like
Like a mystery, like a mystery.
Yeah. And then you like start to piece things together.
Mm.
All right. Well, I think it's probably time for our question. This question is, what do you do when you hurt someone you love's feelings on accident? Like you didn't mean to hurt their feelings, but you really care about them and their feelings are hurt.
Apologize. That's really all you can do, is sincerely apologize and ask for forgiveness. But a lot of times, once something's out, it can't be, taken back. People will live with the hurt for a long time. So the best thing to do is just apologize and do better.
Even if somebody spits on you?
I don't know if Harry Styles was a loved one of Chris Pine's, but yeah, that wasn't an accident. So I'd have a hard time. I'd have a hard time with that, but I'd have much more of a reaction than Chris Pine did. Okay.
All right. Y'all can come back.
Okay, we're back.
All right. So here's the question. What'd you do when you hurt someone you love's feelings? But it was an accident, it was a mistake, and now their feelings are hurt. What do you do?
I just wait for it to blow over if I don't apologize immediately, I guess. I don't know.
So if you don't apologize immediately, you just won't apologize?
Well, it'll blow over unless I realize that I genuinely, we got some very sensitive people here, and it happens so often. It happens so often, I think, especially with me, because I know y'all thinking I don't speak quick, but I instantly bite back, like my brother and them wanted to cut down the hedges, and I instantly scream, no, don't touch the hedges. Okay. That boy has worked his fingers off on that house. And after he left, Susie told me he can do anything he wants over here.
Keep in mind, this is not the hedge story that y'all have heard from like 30 years ago. This is one that happened a few weeks ago. And I literally like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, didn't you tell this exact same story that happened 30 years ago?
Okay.
And you did the exact same thing.
So I instantly, after my sister brought it to my attention, okay, because I instantly, whatever you want to do, I'm going to instantly no, you just, So anyway, after my sister brought it to my attention that Pete does everything at that house, he can cut whatever he wants. So anyway, I came home and I instantly went in the back and told Pete, I am so sorry. Susie said you could cut any tree you want. So I got to instantly do it, because if I don't instantly do it, I'm under the impression they'll get over it, because whatever I said was probably right. So, but so but with the hedge thing, after I thought, yes, but I do.
Did he forgive you?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, it was not an issue. It was not an issue. But we're both, he's like, yes, but he is plus he's a man. So he's more of a thinker. He don't ever really reply. Whereas I am just, no matter what he says, I'm instantly going to have an opinion. And my opinion, I don't know shit. And I'm still going to have an opinion. And it's like, all I have to do is sit and think about it. And what he wants to do makes complete sense, because he'll explain what he wants to do after I have already spoke, you see?
There's something about hedges that it just really triggers her.
Really?
I
Yeah.
just don't think, I think everything should be left to grow. You plant it, leave it grow.
In another life, you were a little critter and you had made your home in there, and then some people came and chopped them down. And so you're very sensitive to hedges.
But no, I try to apologize immediately. But if I don't apologize immediately, then I don't see where they'll get over it, because yeah. But I don't talk too much to where I hurt people's feelings too often. Do I, Mindy?
She doesn't talk to that many people.
Right, yeah. So it's just family, really.
She doesn't really hurt my feelings.
No, Mindy might hurt mine, but she don't hurt. I don't hurt hers. Do I? Yeah, I don't think. Too afraid of Mindy.
I think anything she says, like she'll say something doesn't look good, but I I don't.
And she's so calm. I think it takes, well, at least from me, maybe it takes, she's just very calm and she's a thinker. So,
I just ignore her.
and she don't hurt to live in this house with Granny, and, she has never hurt Granny's feelings. And she's a tough cookie to live with sometimes. So I assume I am too. So, but she's pretty good.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at MKBS Pod, and stay tuned next week for our next episode. Bye.
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 Oh, hello, Pumpkin.